Okay, we'll get started. So thank you very much for joining us. For those that have just joined us, you are attending the tea time clearing session. This session is going to be recorded and we will be sending that out in the next week or two along with the presentation slides. Okay, there is time for Q&A at the end, so please add your into the chat any questions that you have. Okay, my name is Kelly Self and I am the project coordinator for HEP, and I support underrepresented students into HE predominantly. That is care experience, young carers, disabled students, but I also support parents and carers as well. And with me today, I've got Laura, who will introduce herself in a little while. She is one of our parent and carer ambassadors. Okay, so thank you for joining us today. So a bit about HEP. HEP are the Higher Education Progression Partnership. We call it HEP for short. We are a jointly funded programme with the University of Sheffield and Sheffield Hallam. They fund us and we visit lots of schools out in South Yorkshire. So we go out and deliver lots of different sessions to help young people and adults to think about higher education. Our job is to provide information that is impartial. So we aren't there to deliver our sessions to say go to either institution. We're there to provide impartial information and informed choices about whether higher education is right for that young person. So to start with, we have got a poll that we just would like you just for 30 seconds. My colleague's going to put that into the onto the screen. It will also come up in the chat if you miss it. Please do answer that because that helps us gauge when we're looking at results later on. So the question is, how would you rate your knowledge of clearing? Okay, we'll go on to the session now. So a bit of an overview about this session. The session is all about clearing. So we're going to talk to you about what it is, who it is for, how you can prepare for it, some top tips, and then we'll hear from Laura, our parent and carer ambassador, and their views on how they've helped support a young person through that clearing process. So a bit about what is clearing. So clearing is what universities and colleges do to fill places they still have available on courses. Now that doesn't mean to say that it's every course. That there can be some courses one year that's different the next year. So it's always good to do some research on it. Now the clearing tool that is there, the UCAS search tool, is something that opens after the 5th of July. So clearing starts this year after the 5th of July. So that's now open. But what they recommend is that you explore the clearing options. Okay, so that's before results day. So in that August, you need try and do it before that August date and check individual web pages for more information. Okay, so if you look on this search tool, what we'll do is when we send the slides out, you'll be able to click on that link and that will be able to take you through to start to look at what is there, what options have those young people got, so that they've got a bit of an idea before it comes to the results day, when perhaps they're now starting to think, oh gosh, I want to go through clearing. They've got more of an idea so that they can go and talk to those institutions feeling confident that they've got more of an idea. So who is clearing for? Now, this is where I think a lot of people feel like that perhaps it's got negativity behind it, and it hasn't. These are for students, those students who didn't get the right grades maybe on results day, but there's also always fantastic courses available from institutions across the UK throughout clearing. So clearing can be if, say, for instance, the student is a late application, so they've decided to apply after the 30th of June. They might not have received any offers or any that the student wants to accept. So they might have been given an offer from a university, but actually they didn't want to accept that offer. They did not meet perhaps the conditions of the offers. They achieved better results. So they might on a results day actually have achieved better results than they thought. So they might want to look at different courses, something that they perhaps could have done, but they'd not applied for it. And also after declining their firm place using the decline my place button in the application. So there's lots of reasons why people might go through clearing. So it's open for quite a number of students. So again, people think that it's because they didn't get the exam results, they didn't get what they needed. It's actually could be that they got better, or that they decided that they don't like the institution that they're going to. They prefer to go to one perhaps nearer to home, or they prefer something else because they've visited it after accepting the offer. So there are lots of different people that will apply through clearing. So when we say preparing for clearing, this is basically a UCAS list, if you like, in terms of how you would prepare, but it's so good we couldn't not use it. You can get more guidance, as we say on there, that ucas.com/clearing. But basically what we recommend are these top tips. So make a list, sort of look at the courses you're interested in, and you can contact and their contact numbers. So on the courses they're interested in, there might be sort of a course leader or someone like that, but just make the university number, make a list with their university number, so that when they go to phone on that results day, they've got a clear idea of what institution they want to go to, what subject they want to look at, and then what phone number they've got to ring. Because sometimes when they're literally just got their results and they're rushing around, it's easy if you've got it written down straight away. On your call checklist, they will need their personal ID number. Obviously, again, look for the clearing phone numbers on the institution. They'll need what qualifications they've got, so make sure they've got those written down, what subjects they've studied and what grades that they've got, and also have a pen and paper, okay? Because there will be lots of notes they might need to take down, and it's best to write them down, because obviously once they've come off the phone call, it's not as easy to remember those things. It might be as well, some people, it helps to prepare a script. So it might be, something like writing down who your name is, what you're going to say. So my ID number is this. I've got these grades, but I want, I can't go to this university. I want to study at this one. Are there any spaces? Just so that they've got a bit of a script, so that they feel a bit more confident when they're on that phone call. It makes life easier for them, and then hopefully makes them feel more confident when they're speaking to people. So, top tips for you as parents and carers. Again, lots of these, you'll probably be like, well, yeah, that makes sense. So it's top tips: emotional support, be calm with decision making. What can you help with? So start to talk to them about what you can help with. Have a look at the UCAS quick guide. Be flexible. They've got to be flexible, the students, because it might not be that they might have to slightly change what they want. But obviously it's best to ask any questions there in terms of what that means, in terms of what they're going to study. Obviously also ask about what support they could get from that university, and have a positive, open mind. It can be stressful, so be prepared to give emotional support there. Okay, so, and what we say when we say calm decision making, it's about encouraging that. So we say, like, act quickly, but try not to rush. I know that sounds quite hard, but it's just obviously on results day, you can go into that call, quickly wanting to say too much stuff, but actually it's about trying not to rush, just act on. That's why we say to have the script. Now, you can help with making phone calls, so that might be looking at accommodation, logistics, travel, or relocation considerations. So when you're there, when they're talking about going to perhaps this institution, start to research about it and what support you might need to do. Obviously, as we said on the previous slide, there is a quick guide. So again, make sure that they've done that. And be open to new courses or locations. So that might be that you might not have thought of something, but most institutions after clearing day have open days. So you might choose to go to somewhere, but you can then go on to an open day for that. Okay. Universities want to help. So when you're phoning them, they really want to help you. They don't want you to feel like when you get off that phone call that that's not been the right decision. So they are there to support you. Obviously, it's about making sure that they're asking the right questions, but again, be aware that the universities are there to support that young person through that phone call. And as I said, and I'll show you on a later screen, great opportunities can come from clearing. So it's not, a negative just because they've not got the right grades. It actually might be the right turning point in terms of moving on to a different course that they've not thought of, but actually is better for them as an individual. So the Clearing Toolkit to parents and carers, this is another thing on UCAS. UCAS has a wealth of information on it that is there to support you and your young person. This guide can be found on the webpage. I put the link on there and the website address. It includes more detailed information on the process. So from what we've said today, there's also more detailed information on there, and it talks about how you can support your young person before, during, and then after clearing. Okay, so I recommend using that toolkit to best, advise the young person. Okay, so enough of me talking now. I'm going to hand you over to Laura, who is going to talk to you now about her experience.
Hello, everybody. So as Kelly has pointed out, I am a parent ambassador. So I am also a student at the University of Sheffield. And the beauty of that is that I am able to kind of see it from a student perspective as well as from a parent perspective. I didn't go through clearing. My son was actually going to university at the same time as I was. So that really has allowed me to be able to see it from both sides, mature student, 18-year-old. He's now finished, which is slightly insane. It goes very, 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 very quickly. But there were a couple of his friends actually that went through clearing. And at the point that that was happening, I was able to support them because, like I say, I was going through the process myself. So that really gave me the knowledge that their parents felt they didn't have. And I think some of that comes from, which might be the position for some of you, having either never gone to university or went to university probably a little while ago. And that then means that all the new information that is here, and it's a lot to remember, sometimes we're just not aware of all of that. So that's why these kind of events are really, really helpful. So Kelly has touched upon the fact that clearing can offer an opportunity to take a different route. And I think as parents and carers who are supporting young people, it's something to really consider because they choose their GCSE results with kind of, most of the time, not always, a future in mind. And then they will choose their A-level result, A-level subjects, sorry, not results. They wish they could choose their results, but their A-level subjects based on kind of what then they're wanting that to lead to. And sometimes that is obviously very, very young. And by the time they get to 18 and they realize, right, I'm applying for university, they can sometimes just be in sort of automatic mode. They've already committed to so many years of heading in one direction. And not everybody will have the support, but not everybody will kind of even question whether to actually question whether that is the direction they still want to head in. So like Kelly mentioned, having the opportunity for clearing can, even if they get the grades, can help them to think about, well, actually, what do I align with more? Where do I actually see my future going? Is this something that I chose because my friends were choosing it and I wanted to be in similar classes to them, and all these things that we know that young people can do? And it really does sort of offer that. And that is actually what happened with one of Oliver's friends. So he had been planning on going into engineering, and when he got to the point of getting certain grades, he thought, I don't really want to do that anymore. I really kind of don't want to do that. So he ended up going through clearing, accepting an offer, and went into I can't remember the name of the course exactly, but it was basically like filmmaking and that kind of thing, more of a creative pursuit rather than a vocational industrial one. So that was really, really nice to be able to see that, because I could really feel that he'd sort of tuned into himself, which was really lovely to see, especially for someone so young. And I think that's where we come in. Obviously, this is one example. But like Kelly said on the top tips, the emotional support, I would say, for me personally as a parent and for anybody that we're supporting, is going to be the most important one. And I think the reason for that is because this is a huge transition for them. There is a lot of nervousness around going to university in the first place for a lot of young people, and having that sort of stability around them, having that steadiness, having those people that they can just sort of be honest with and say, look, I am feeling nervous, I am feeling scared about this, what if I don't get my grades, to then find out if, for example, they didn't quite get the grades they wanted. Understandably, as I said before, they've been working towards this for a long time. That can create an internal panic. So having you around as this sort of anchor in all of that is really going to benefit them and really going to help them then make the best decision for themselves moving forward. There are a few other things that we've kind of briefly discussed about clearing and what that, I think, the stigma attached, and this is a lot of what I hear from young people. I work on the open days for potential students, offer holders, and also the pre-applicant open days at University of Sheffield. And we hear a lot about, when it comes to clearing, that there's this stigma attached. It's almost like I wasn't good enough the first time round, so now I'm having to sort of go and hope that there's a space for me. And I can understand why that may feel that way, but in reality, as soon as you enter through those university doors, there is nothing at all that is going to set that young person apart from any of their peers. I sit in seminars and in lectures with, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and I wouldn't have a clue who came through clearing. And you don't sit either in seminars and somebody says something and you think, but they came through clearing. Absolutely. Once you're through those doors, how you got in there, it really makes no difference. And there are other things to consider as well. There are many, many, many ways that people come into university. Some people get the grades straight in, fine, no problem. Some people come through clearing. Some people come through things like what we call our University Access Plus, because of the background they come from, caring responsibilities. So there is an array of reasons why people enter into university, and how they get into university. But I think it's really important, as those anchors for the young people, that we let them know that no one's going to know. They don't sit you in a corner and put, a special hat on that lets everyone know that you came through clearing. It really makes no difference at all. And it does offer this flexibility. And one final thing I'll just mention is, and we discussed this before we came on here, something I hadn't actually considered. Sometimes people will apply for a university. They will then narrow it down to their two choices. And by the time it comes around to it, they don't want to go there anymore. For whatever reason, they may have found another course and the modules just seem more exciting and kind of draw them in more. They may have visited, like Kelly said, that area and think, oh, this just feels right, or this feels wrong. Many, many reasons why somebody might change the institution that they want to go to and that they have actually narrowed down to. And clearing, again, gives an opportunity for people to really make those aligned, authentic choices.
Thanks, Laura. That's great. We'll just move on and then we'll come back and Laura will probably have some questions for you. One of our student ambassadors was unable to join us today, but we have got a case study that is on our website, and you might have seen it in the newsletter that goes out to parents and carers that are. And this is a student that has gone through clearing. And actually, if you read that, you can see that actually they were thankful for those changes. But here it is. I'm really thankful that my initial plans didn't work out. The disappointment led me to a course that better matches my interests and strengths. Clearing wasn't just a backup route. It was a fresh start and a better fit for me. I now feel confident about my future and excited about the direction I'm heading in. And I think to anyone feeling unsure or disappointed with their offers, don't panic. Clearing might just lead you to something even better. And I think that is really key, and that's really powerful in terms of it's not always a negative. It can become a real big positive. So that is pretty much the end. We've got a few more slides just after this, but now's really a time to ask any questions you've got, if you can add to them to the chat. We have also got a poll that's coming in. There's about 3 questions on it. Again, multiple choice, most of them. I think there's one that just needs you to add in. Please do answer those questions on there, because that helps us to help further parents and carers when we're looking at these events. So they will go on the screen. If you miss any of them, they will be in the chat function. But I am now going to move on while you're doing that, just to sort of offer the floor for questions, but also to put on there my contact details and my colleague who also works on parents and carers, just to if you've ever got any questions or any concerns that you have about how to navigate higher education, whether that's clearing or whether that's what you want to go, your young person wants to go to Hallam but you can't navigate it, please just drop an email to us. We are there to help. We do have a website, and on that website there are an awful lot of resources. We have got our rebranded parent and carer resource that is downloadable. If you download those them there, if you feel like you need an actual physical copy, please let us know. We can sort that out. But that has got a wealth of information on there. There's some video clips as well of students and things about student finance. So anything on there that you feel that you hopefully will answer some of your questions, but we all have our own little questions that are actually powerful ones that we need to be able to answer. So please do drop us any emails at any time with any concerns that you have or any questions. Now, obviously we are funded and know more and can get into the institutions that we are funded by the University of Sheffield and Sheffield Hallam. But if you have got a concern or anything about any others, we potentially might be able to support that as well. We might be able to find contacts that we work with across the country that might be able to, if you're struggling with anything. Or back our contact details, please just drop us a line, and especially near clear results day, if you feel like you need to ask any questions, please just drop us an email and we will do our best to answer it as soon as possible. Okay, thank you very much for your time.